Hey guys, as promised, here is the third Emerson 1895 series, this being the only one in white, this being all the other ones being in antique brass. It's pretty much the same as all the other ones. It's still the later version with stencil. I don't know if you can really see, but the blades on the stencil side are actually a bit darker than the rest of the fan. There's some other weird things about this too. Like, I don't think this was paint or anything. It looks like the original paint, but there's bits of paint on the pull chain, if you can see that, especially at the top. And in case you can't see it here, yeah, there's that. Just want to make this video quick because I don't know if you can tell, but it's getting dark outside and this fan does not have a light kit. So let's keep it moving and start off on low. I actually really like how this fan looks. Definitely more than the antique brass ones, I think, just because of this room. Because this room's all, it's like white and shades of light brown, as you might be able to see there. And I had the white, or the plain side down for the blades earlier, and it actually looks really good. That mark I showed is completely covered by the blade iron. But yeah, it looks really good that way. And this could definitely pass as a modern fan if you had that side down. So if I can, I'll see if I can deal with the buzzing noise, and then this might become a contender for a permanent bedroom fan, or semi-permanent anyways. This came 100% complete from another Facebook marketplace listing, and it wasn't that much money, so I'm really glad I got this. I can tell this one's definitely it's just a little bit buzzier than the other ones. Like, I have it quiet right now. Normally I have like the TV going and all that fun stuff, but yeah, it's there. Another thing to note is how low the pull chain is on the actual switch housing. Very standard, same functional low speed. Let's go to medium. There's not much of a story of how I, got this one. It was a pretty basic trade, but it is kind of funny when you know all this stuff about ceiling fans and then somebody else is trying to sell you on it, like, oh, you can put a light kit on it. It's like, oh, really? Had no idea. And this has no clicking noise to it, so I still have yet to test the last antique brass fan to see if that makes that noise, but I have no idea what's going on with the other two where it does that. But yeah, this, other than that, the KB55 hum that we all know and despise, it's pretty quiet. It's already making somewhat of substantial wind noise on medium speed. Any other noise is either just like how I have mounted, because it's a mess of crammed up wires in there, or because I didn't tighten the blade arm screws entirely, because I didn't want to have a giant mark on the blades like the previous owners left on the other side. And another thing to mention, actually, that probably applies to all these fans, but I didn't notice until today, is that this motor actually runs like really hot. If you put your hand or your fingers around the top of this switch housing, when it's off, of course, on the blade irons or on the very top of the motor housing, it's really hot, like after you leave it running for maybe half an hour or so. So that's a thing. I'm sure it doesn't really matter because this thing's been used since it was bought in the 80s, I presume. Same with the rest of them. Alright, let's go to high. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like a startup whine in the motor. It's so cool. It's kind of like how, it's like a more relaxed version of what like the Antiques or Hunter Originals do. But you can still hear it, especially if you go from 0 to high. Listen to that air. Yeah, these are really good performing fans too, especially 42 inch. Please focus, thank you. Really cool. I love how this looks so much. And the long pull chain is here yet again. I was thinking, like, I probably got complaints being like, oh, the pull chain's too short. It's like, alright, have the whole damn thing. And because this one, too, has, like, random paint on it, it'd be nice to have, like, a separator. So you can just, like, put a different one on, but, oh well. Emerson will be Emerson. I wonder if the light kit would absorb some of the noise like it did on the Antique Brass fans. That could be why they're a tad bit quieter, but I'm not sure. Both between the light kit pull chain, the globe. Because when you like feel any part of this fan, you can feel the hum, like even on the bottom of the pull chain. But yeah, I'll turn it off now. Not much else to see besides that, and I feel like I've talked for long enough already, so. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, quick addendum, I guess, to the video I just stopped, because I remembered as soon as I hit stop recording, is that when I first put this fan up, and I applied power to it, it didn't work. So I was like, what? Like, what did I do? So I redid all the wiring connections, and I tried it again, and still nothing. So I was like, what is going on now? But I hear from the distance, my brother goes, hey, my light don't work. So I'm like, oh, like it all started to make sense in my head. Like I tripped the breaker. Like this fan tripped the actual breaker because it's shared between mine and his room. So it's like, that's weird. Maybe something happened the first time with the wiring. And I was like, okay, like I reset the breaker. I, did it again. And I tried it, and it still tripped the breaker again. So I'm like, what could possibly be wrong with this thing? And I took a look inside the switch cap, and the two wires for the light kit were put together in a wire nut. And I was like, well, at least I figured it out, but that was annoying. And I could blame somebody else on that, but that was entirely me who did that, actually. I just did that, like, temporarily until I found another wire nut, but I guess I forgot, and I just left it like that. So that's my little story. And I've actually been talking long enough where we can see the full spin down. So I'll wait for that. The bearings are really good on this one too. No noise whatsoever. And there you have it, the white 42-inch Emerson 1895 series from the mid to late 80s. Thanks for watching.